It's like this.
Shine.
Get your light off that way.
Okay. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. You are listening now to Brill Creations Design Deconstructed. This is gonna be our first episode, and we're planning on making this like weekly. We're planning on doing this weekly. We're joined here by Miss Kath, my co-host, over here.
Nice to be here, guys.
Yeah, anyway, Brill Creations Design Deconstructed is under the Brill Talks. So we're going to do a weekly podcast where we dissect everything and anything about design and arts under the sun. So basically everything, if you're creative, a graphic designer, or you're a visual artist, or you're a painter, this podcast is for you. So anyway, let me introduce myself. My name is Red. This is Kath. I'm a resident creative here for Brill Creations. The team is all over here right now. Say hi, say hi. Okay. This is our Mr. Danusha. This is our CEO for Brill Creations. You can't see him right now, but you can hear his voice. Sir Danusha, say hi to the camera.
Hi everyone.
See? And then this is Sir Mark, our resident photographer and videographer. Oh my god. This is our master for everything related to commercials and ads and social media and all that stuff. And say hi, Sir Mark. Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, see? And this is Mr. Saleh. Mr. Saleh.
Yes.
Say hi. This is for our social media. Our COO for Brill Creations. So we're very small team. And this is also our social media specialist, Mickey.
Yes.
Say hi.
Hey.
And our admin, Miss Jen. Say hi. Okay. So basically, okay, right now, I'll allow Miss Kath to introduce herself. Miss Kath, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure, I would love to. So, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here, guys. Thank you so much for letting me be part of the team. Really grateful to be here today. So, simply, my name is Katrina. Related to art design for a very long time. It has started probably at the age of 12 when I was just doing some handmade stuff. And then it continued. I started to paint. I continued with customizing some clothing, stitching, and meanwhile I learned how to do UX UI design. This sphere is very interesting to me. It's not that easy to meet someone related to art and design, graphic design here in Qatar.
Yes,
so
definitely.
It's a great pleasure to have you talk today. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and my name is Red. So if you're new here and you're just tuning in, I'm the resident creative here. I do all the graphic arts and stuff. As for the lifestyle and culture here in Qatar, I'm a newbie. All of them, they're experts. They're already assimilated to the culture. Me, I'm still learning, learning my ropes. By the way, I'm from the Philippines, just like Sir Mark and Miss Jen. So I've been working as a graphic designer since 2020. Since 2020, but before that, I worked as a freelance designer. As a product designer, industrial designer. And when I came here, thank goodness, I found Brill Creations. So here we do everything, like social media, digital marketing, anything. So if you guys have a business here in Qatar, this is like the sponsored segment. If you have a business here in Qatar and you want to see growth, you want to see your business fly, give us a call. Anyway, numbers will go below, and follow us on social media, okay, at Brill Creations. It's gonna be subscribe. Anyway, we're gonna discuss right now our pet peeves. Pet peeves. Okay, I don't know why I put this topic first and foremost, but you see, I'm the kind of graphic artist ever since when I was still in the Philippines. Some of my coworkers, they always tell me I'm this kind of guy who's easily of easily annoyed when it comes to design. It's because what do you call this? I like to do some things, by the book. Like,
You like to follow the rules.
yeah, follow the rules and the similar the systems that are put in place in graphic design and graphic arts. And one of my pet peeves when I was still practicing as a freelancer is when the clients say, think outside the box. What do you mean think outside the box? That could mean anything, like if you tell me like think outside the box, my only reply is, if you want me to think outside the box, I hope your budget
It's high enough.
is high enough
Yeah.
because when we think outside the box, it's gonna be vague. What do you want me to do?
And of course,
No.
he has to pay you for extra time. And
Yes.
and then they think that this work is actually so easy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And those are one of my pet peeves when it comes to graphic design. And also, oh my god, I'm very particular when it comes to typography.
Yeah,
Text.
obviously.
Everything. You see, things in graphic design is alignment, typography, and color. That's it. You have those three things, you're golden. And the thing that that irritates me the most is the fact that there are a lot of graphic designers right now. Given the fact that there are a plethora of tools that we can use, right? You have Photoshop, you have Sketch, you have Canva. But the thing is, yeah, and Figma as well. But people can, because now we live in the modern world where typesetting, unlike in the olden days, where they have typesets, are doing now everything is automated. The problem with that is most people or most designers that I know think that typography is just something that can be left to the computer. Like it's something that can be just set it automatic, everything, line spacing, kerning, tracking, everything, and that's it. It's not. It's like, I cannot count how many times I went into the highway, both in the Philippines and here in Qatar, in the Middle East. When I'm in the highway, sitting in my Uber, inside the car, and seeing all the billboards along the road, and then you realize that almost 80% of those billboards are designed incorrectly. There's no way you can read that. There's no way. You see, when you're designing something, I used to do billboards and road collaterals for highways and boulevards. Mostly are ads for this coffee store in the Philippines. We used to do those banners outside. And one thing that we realized is that when you're designing something that's going to be put in a public highway, like in a public avenue or boulevard, you're going to be like, you have to get your point across within 2 seconds. Because that's all it takes for a car moving at 80 kilometers per hour to just pass along. So, and it has to be visible. Like a kilometer away, a half kilometer away, your ad has to be visible. Like, the big chains like McDonald's and Starbucks and Coca-Cola and all that, where they're doing ads. From a mile away,
Yeah,
this is it.
right
Yeah.
colors, communication is very important.
Yes. Exactly. That's why the iconic golden arches are very iconic, because that's how they get the point across. They want to say, okay, we're promoting this new burger that we have. Of course, you're not gonna put the name of the burger at first. You're gonna put the burger, the graphics of the burger. And what's funny as it seems, but it gets the point across. You can see the burger from a mile away. Then the problem is most small businesses right now, when they want to do ads in the highways, they don't think about that. They think about the design as they see it on the computer. So often what happens is the letters are going to be spaced too tight. Too tight. But the moment you blow it up into like a 5 meter, a 5 meter print, and then you put it on top of a billboard. The moment you zoom out from half a mile away, there's no way you can read the letters. Because they're too tight, you know. And I think and it also goes down to how, as designers, most of them are. See, there are two things: the design part and the artistic part. You know, the creative part, and then the design part. The creative part is the art. Is the one where you do your creative freedom, how you're going to color your scene, how are you going to do the artwork and all. The design part has to be human centric. You think about the audience, the viewers, how they're going to interact with it, how they're going to see it, how they're going to read it. Is it legible for them? Did you get your point across your artwork? So, and most of them just focus on the artwork. They forget that. Yeah.
Combination is the key in this case. If you can be that's creative, you have to be systematic at the same time.
Yeah. How about you? You say you worked in Belarus, right? Before coming here in Qatar.
Yeah, I worked with UI UX design for some time back home in Belarus. Well, I have kind of similar experience, even back home. I think everywhere worldwide there is this issue of blue words where the color combination is incorrect, so it's hard to read the text, you don't see it from far, and it has something really meaningful to say on the blue word. If to talk specifically about clients, it's, for me, in my case, probably with my character or personality, it's always hard to discuss pricing because, unfortunately, or just the system, like mostly the client is not really into design, but he wants something really fast, he wants it to look great. And, for example, if you design logos, they might ask for so many options, or editing of one logo, 10 options of editing, for example, and they don't understand that it costs extra because you're spending time again, Photoshop, again some other apps, platforms. Then the annoying part as well is payments and time. I don't know why, probably it's just my personal experience, but I have faced it a lot, that customers kind of don't want to pay in time for some reason. Then colors, since I didn't learn it myself, I really went to school and I learned the system, I know the technical part, and I know that I'm doing it the right way. Client will still try to teach you the way to do your work, and doesn't want to accept your kind of work by the end. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but the funny thing about that, I was actually telling this to Sir Danusha the other day. Yeah. When the client wants to, us as designers, we were trained to do how to do the layout, but then you can't avoid the fact that sometimes clients will insist, no, do this instead of this, even though we know that it's wrong. It breaks our hearts, to see that they want to do this. But what I was talking to Sir Danusha before is what I do in those kind of situations is that I will follow their directions, but I will exaggerate the elements. If they say, okay, put a blue text against a green background, I say, no, don't do that. They're too, what do you call this? They don't have a contrast. Yeah. They live side by side in the color wheel. Yeah. Like, no, but we want it. Okay. Then I'll put the text and exaggerate everything, make it blue and pop, so that when they see it, oh no, we don't like this. See? That's what I was telling you.
Yeah, that's an annoying part. Also, I have noticed it so many times when you do the website for the high resolution and for laptop, let's say, desktop. And then you don't adjust it for mobile phone.
Yes.
It's so bad. It's just changing your opinion about the company.
Yes.
You don't want to go for the service. I think only graphic designer can feel this way
Exactly.
about the company because you studied it and you have passion for it. So that's an annoying part as well. Back home, honestly, I was quite happy to work because there are more art-related people compared with here. I think I got more experience there, even though I was getting paid way less for my work. And the interesting part as well about UI UX design that you really study the audience first, like who is interested in your service. Sometimes you need to have a full description about audience, like the age, interest, and so on. Colors as well depends what is for a restaurant or some strict government service.
Yeah, but I guess it comes with the demographics as well. You know, because I think is Belarus like? I'm sorry, I'm not really good for but Belarus is larger than Qatar.
Yeah, of course. Belarus is at least 6 times larger.
Yeah, see, maybe it's because it also comes with the demographic. Like when I was still working in the Philippines, we had the same thing. Like it's easier to make a design when you have a large pool of demographic to study with. You have millions of people as compared to Qatar. It's so small, right? Like you have a large demographic and you can easily separate them into classes. Who's going to interact with your product? That's why engagement in the Philippines is easy. It's easy because there are a lot of people. And oftentimes, even if you're not targeting a particular group, if you do something that's really good, sometimes you get the general audience, you know. It boils down into the general audience. So I think it comes with demographic. And one thing that I realized is when I came here, I was introduced to the design standards here, and then I realized, oh my goodness, Middle East has a very different design standard as opposed to the Philippines, where in the Philippines it's more like commercial, more pop. Here in Qatar, I see that the design trends are coming from other Gulf countries like Kuwait, are pouring into Qatar. Yes, exactly. So when I see all those design standards, like for example, icons. Whenever we put icons in our design, we often don't use like filled icons. We always use outline icons. I never understood why. Because in the Philippines, we used to do it like, just choose one. Okay? If your brand is more like a classy, sophisticated, upper class, use outlines. But if it's something that's hip and very trendy, very for the young people, use the filled icons. Here in Qatar, it's different. You never use filled icons. Because there's like this, I don't know, there's like this connotation that you never use.
I think it's about taste probably. It's not
or they have like a bad connotation with it. I don't know why.
Let's be honest.
Right? There's like a bad connotation. When you use it, it's like you're pulling out the clients feel like you just pulled it out of some website.
You are old school and you did everything in Photoshop and probably Figma, which is everything from scratch.
Exactly.
And it became so, like, being graphic designer became so popular because there are so many platforms which have templates already. You don't need really to think much, you just need to add text.
Correct. Which, by the way, is going to be something that we're going to discuss in the future episodes. These modern tools that we have right now.
Is it advantage or disadvantage?
There is, if you are a young designer watching this, there's and you want to, yeah, you want to be part of the creative industry, there's absolutely no excuse right now. Especially nowadays, you have no excuse not to do it because Photoshop is expensive. No, no, no. I mean, there are a lot of alternative tools that you can use right now.
Yeah.
So I guess, and going back to that thing that you were talking about, you found the challenges of how pricing your work is.
Yeah, I found challenges on timing.
But compared here in Qatar, how are clients
It's kind of similar.
when it comes to pricing?
Yeah, when it comes to pricing, it's kind of similar as well. Probably if I was working for a company, it would be more systematic. But since I'm a freelancer, and mostly I have a background in art and painting, let's say, so they feel like it's easy generally for an artist to just to spend time and drawing logos.
Oh my
They
God.
think like we have
Exactly.
we have higher speed,
Mm-hmm.
or we don't need to spend more time to think, analyze. So they somehow underestimate you from the beginning, so they don't want to pay your price. But like sometimes it's challenging.
This is why I think also why universities nowadays introduce classes to like graphic design and multimedia arts. They introduce this class on how to know your worth as an artist. Because I was just talking to my friend the other day, and he was telling me that my alma mater back in the Philippines are now offering like subjects on how multimedia artists can calculate, doing contracts, knowing the laws regarding freelance work and how to properly price. And I was like, what? They're actually teaching this in university.
And it's important.
Yeah, and I was so surprised because when we were back in
It would give
university.
us way more confidence.
Yes, exactly. Because I was telling him, when we were in the university, they didn't teach us shit. Like, none at all. We had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
How to price. We didn't even know we could do our own contracts. We didn't even know that we can just sit in front of our laptops and just type away, do our own contracts, do our own rules and such. It's nice, I think, that these young creatives are learning to how to manage themselves.
It's a very important skill generally right
Yes.
now in our society to be confident about what you're doing, because specifically artists are very emotional and sensitive, and we tend not to value ourselves enough
Yeah.
because we enjoy what we do, right?
Yes.
So sometimes it's hard to emulate how much it costs themselves.
Yes. And if you guys are young creatives out there who are watching this and you think that thing is funny, that the artists
I
are
love
like,
it's okay.
yeah, that artists are this emotional and stand up, you have to be tough, guys. Really, if you're a young creative, you want to work in the creative industry, you have to be tough. Because we've met clients who were tougher than that. Like, they will really lowball you and like tell you, okay, this is just our budget, or they will be like very what do you call this? They can fix their mind on what they want. Oh, I've had it.
And then you're wasting so much time.
Yes, you're wasting so much
Of course,
time.
they don't want to pay for this time.
That's why that was my wake up call, by the way. That was my wake up call. Back in 2015, we were doing this burger shop back in the Philippines. Yes. And I came to work with one architect, the one who's going to design the entire store. I was working with an architect. I was working with two interior designers. And I was working industrial designer plus graphic design. So I was the one doing the branding and everything. What happened was, when we were doing the design, okay, the architect who was doing it didn't mind about the branding because all he had to focus on was the store itself. Like when we were doing the store. But I had to be mindful of the branding because what they wanted was like this. The owners were a fan of Guy Fieri. If you know Guy Fieri, the famous chef who likes food trucks. They love Guy Fieri. And so we were doing the branding, and they were like, okay, we want this to be look like Guy Fieri, you know, like a food truck, something that will appeal to the youngsters and all. Okay. So I gave him
definitely the pictures of it.
Yes. Oh my god, all of our mood boards. I had to watch Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
I never watched Guy Fieri. I used to be like just watching Gordon Ramsay, but then I had to learn and research what they meant by Guy Fieri. So it just boils down to they want it to be like southern US, you know, like southern state. Everything's big, servings, portions, like dripping in oil and all that stuff. Okay, so I made this mood board. And I made this color palette for them, their own branding and all. But then, after a few months of doing that, come installation time, the client was like, you know what? I think we want to target the rich class, the upper class youngsters.
Something you should know at the beginning.
Yes! And I was like, okay. At first I was like, okay, you want that, so what are you thinking? Do you think we can change the materials you want to shell out more budget? No, I was thinking of a redesign. What? I was like, a redesign, all of it. So everything that we've done for the past 3 months, just straight into the bin. I was like, yeah, but because you see, we were planning in the future, we have this vision of expanding to more towns. Well, yeah, you can expand if you're just a food truck. Yeah, we don't have to target the rich class. Besides, I told them, if you want to expand into more parts of Metro Manila, if you want to expand more, you can't just say that you want to target the upper class. Because how are you going to expand? You know, your options are going to be limited. You're going to be expanding and doing your branches in elite closed off subdivisions. I'm like, but they kept insisting on that. Okay. And that's the time that I learned how to make a contract. Because the architect was a friend of mine actually. The architect told me the contract that we had for this client, you're not included in it. Because this is just for the architectural work. You have to make your own. So he taught me how to do it. Okay, he said, and that was the wake-up call. Because he said
it happened after 3 months before.
Yes. Because, but the thing is, I got paid for those 3 months.
Okay.
But then before the redesign, I had to make a contract. And he was telling me, the architect was telling me, you see, you don't need any lawyers for this. And so you can literally write it on a napkin and have them sign it. It will be legally binding.
This is what I was doing.
Yes! So I was like, my mind was blown, and I was still young back then, so didn't know better. So from that day on, I kept like a template for me as a freelance. So everything, future clients, I have a contract. Everything that we is going to be in the contract. And thank goodness, now they have they have 4 branches now. They lost one.
In the end, you targeted the higher class.
No, they just
they
just stayed in the middle class. Yeah. All of it, middle class. But then they have one branch that is situated in Makati. It's like a business district in the Philippines. Yeah. It's situated in Makati, and that branch is the only thing that's different because that branch has a slightly higher prices than the rest, and it's more upscale. Like you can see, everything is air conditioned. You can go in, have a drink, and all. So, but the rest, they have this branch in Cavite. It's like food truck, like burgers, wings you can have. So,
Was it your worst experience designing?
ma-
Like the toughest one, or there was something? Like,
the toughest one. I'm sorry for this. If you guys are interior designers, to all interior design, I apologize in advance because every time the worst experience I've had, not just for that gig, is always dealing with interior designers. It's always because yeah. See, I'm an industrial designer, so we work in product design, furnitures, and all. Yes, like we're going to design the tables and the chair, and the interior designers are the ones going to think how to arrange it properly, how the set in the space is going to be. But everything from furnitures to all, we're the ones who are designing it. And just so happened that interior designers are, at least for my experience, they also have an experience a little bit in industrial design because of the fact that they're also designing furnitures. They're also designing chairs. So sometimes it's all about aesthetics versus functionality. Like we as industrial designers, when we design something, we really do research about how the person is going to use it. If it's a chair, how are elderly people going to interact with it? How are children going to interact with it? Are they comfortable sitting on it? But interior designers, since it's it's all about the study of space, they're not really that focused on that. So they care about the aesthetics of it. Like I've seen a lot. My God, there's this school, this university in the Philippines. It's in Manila, and in their lobby there is this. Have you seen those rounded like egg couches? Yeah, they made the design for that such that it is hard. It is hard, and then the seat is about this big, like almost half a meter.
when you sit, you just
No, when you sit,
down.
when you sit on it, you don't know whether you're going to sit upright or you're gonna lay down because there's absolutely no support. It's just hard all along. And that was designed by an interior designer. Why? Because if you see it, it looks good. It looks good on a space. But then, for us, it's not designed. And we've had arguments before. And a lot of freelance gigs that we did, I've had a lot of arguments with interior design because of creative differences, design differences. They want this, I want that. Yeah, I'm saying.
That's interesting because I think when you study either graphic design or interior design, you still have the same rules. Like common rules. But by the end of your studies, you face different experience.
Yes, because I think it's maybe because of the focus, the expertise. Like you cannot ask an architect to like design you a social media post.
Of course,
Of course you can. You can ask them, and they might give you a decent output.
It depends on the person.
Yes, but most generally they're gonna give you something that is based on their experience as an architect. As an architect working on it, what their views on typography and such. The same way that you wouldn't ask a graphic artist to design you a house, right?
You made
So,
me remember something. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, that's fine.
With my previous job, I was working with the ceramic products, and I used to deal with a lot of architects here in Qatar. Me, with my basic knowledge in graphic design, knowledge in art, I kind of know how to combine colors, I believe.
Yeah.
And I used to face weird situations when the architect was totally changing the colors of tiles.
Mm.
And I tried to study these sites, this point, and I realized probably because the interest of the taste of locals, Qataris, is quite different in colors as well, which is not applicable on their bright system of the coloring. So that was also a nice flashback.
Yes, exactly. And I think it plays, the cultural differences too.
Yeah.
When I came here in Qatar, the first thing that I noticed coming from the airport to the apartment was that they really like the flesh color. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Everything is
Everywhere.
beige.
All
Why?
houses.
I was asking why.
Sand?
I don't know. Is it sand or they just? So Sally, have an answer for that.
Why all houses are beige?
Why are every residential here is color beige? They don't like to paint their houses or something?
No, it's about the sand.
Sand?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, I think maybe it's just sand. See?
It makes you dust proof.
Yeah,
Okay, it's not visible that it's dusty.
yeah, exactly. Because you see, that's one of the cultural differences. And they're very keen on patterns here in Middle East. That's one thing that I discovered. Patterns and exotic materials such as marble, gold. Oh my God, they love gold when it comes to their designs. And yeah, and it's just a bit of a culture shock for me because,
Roof mostly looks different.
Yeah.
I only have triangular roof. Probably it's because of the climate as well.
Yes.
Because we have rain
Exactly.
as well. Here,
yeah. Here it's dry. Oh my God. 365 days a year. It's very dry. And one of the things is they're not fond of making, I don't know. Each and every house that I see here is gated and they all look the same. They look the same. The fences and all. But I've had an opportunity to actually peek in one of those houses. And the thing is, their houses look different and looks elegant, but you won't see it from the outside. Like, they have these very tall fences and you won't see the design from the outside. And I was just thinking, believe me, if this happened in the Philippines and you had a very great facade of a house, you wouldn't want to hide it behind those fences. Oh my goodness, you will remove those fences. You want the world to you want the world to see that this is my house. See, this is expensive, huh? So yeah, it was funny, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning how their culture, their design tastes.
Yeah, I think it's this fear which unstoppably growing.
Yeah.
If you have to update yourself every day,
Mm-mm.
because there are new features in all platforms.
Yes.
Then NFT recently appeared there, and
correct.
kids who don't have any knowledge about
Exactly.
earn so much money.
When I first heard about NFTs, I was like, "What are those? You're like selling gifts and all?"
Like actually sell your photos
Yes.
as well as a digital art.
Yes, exactly. And I was so confused when I saw that. I mean, you do know I have a lot of good designs, right? Why can't I sell it? People are making money out of
But
it.
it's also tricky. As far as I know, I have done some studies about NFT. It's easy to earn when you are already well known,
Yeah.
but it's so hard to earn even if you do really good stuff. But like you have only circle of your friends, and that's it.
Yes.
Ends there. It will take time. You might be successful, and you might not be successful. Yeah.
So again, I think to end this podcast, the last pet peeve that I think I have, people who don't know. Okay, this is the problem. This is the problem I've had since I was in college. So because we're working, as a team and all, people who don't know how to organize files and designs. Like really, I've had this one person before when I was still working in coffee project. Give me a design. Okay, it was a Photoshop file. It was, I think, 2 gigs. So you have to imagine how huge that file is. 2 gigs. It has more than 300 plus layers on it.
Oh, wow.
None of it is color coded or named properly. I had to sift through 300, and even though there are layers that are unused, they don't delete it. They just hide it. Like, why? It's layer 2, layer 3, layer 35, color 3. Why? I was like, why would you do that?
A huge issue for the guy who will be doing after work.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, I was like saying to him, like, really, I confronted him because I cannot work on this. How can I work on this? I was like telling him, look, I get it. You're in a rush. You have to do it, right? But you see, we work as a team here. You know, if I do something that I know you will be editing, I won't give this to you. You know, I will at least put an effort to rename everything, or at least make me a note that layer 67 is going to be the base, or layer 52 is going to be the color of the typefaces and all. And it's just like, oh my god, it's terrible. It's terrible, and the fact that this has become an issue before in our company in the Philippines. There's become an issue that our senior graphic designer got fed up. He got fed up. Like, what he did was he he took all of our designs, every files and all, and he made a single repository of all the designs, and he asked us for a week, just a week, to properly name everything. You have to name this and that, and then you have to yes. Yes. That's the reason why I got the. If you look at my files right now,
I have seen today. It's
you seen?
nice.
You seen how organized it is, and I put dates. Yeah, I put dates in every folders. Like if I did this on June 26, I will put 0626, and then I will put a short description of what this is, because I learned that in my previous company. This one's light. Because it's just I just put the names and all. I just rename the files. But before, we had to color coordinate everything. Really, just one brand. This is going to be color coded red. The other brand is going to be green. The other one is going to be yellow, orange. Because he got my senior designer got fed up. It was like, you guys, you're like freshmen. What are you guys? You just you look like you just came out of high school. You don't know how to do organization and all and stuff like that. And it's also a good thing because whenever clients go and have a peek on what you're doing, they're gonna see that, oh, okay, this is where it goes and all that, because they're gonna see that your file directory is very clean, very organized. There's no way you're gonna lose a file if you're that organized, So yeah, that's one of the biggest pet peeves. Guys, if you're a graphic artist, you're working in Photoshop or anything, putting a simple name won't kill you. Seriously. It will help you in the future. If a client asks you, I need this thing from the design you did, you just ask them, when did I do it? When did I submit it? They're gonna say, the one you did last March 3rd. See, you can easily say. The folder is labeled 0303 or something. March 3rd. So you can easily see it,
Very useful highlights.
By the way, this is not sponsored, by the way. This was from Empire Coffee, but this is not sponsored. So anyway,
Hopefully next time.
yeah, hopefully next time. So again, in our next episode, we're gonna talk about. We're gonna sit down with the entire crew, the Brill crew. We're going to discuss our origin stories, how we started in the creative industry. So you can actually see all of them, Miss Jen, Sir Danusha, Sir Mark, Sir Salad, people behind the scenes. So you can actually see and hear their stories.
That's going to be very interesting, guys. So please subscribe from today for more interesting stories, information. It's very useful for you as a creative person. Doesn't matter what actually specifically you do.
So you can actually hear the war tales, the horror stories, the inspirational ones, how they tears, the challenges and all, how they started in this. Okay, so that's it. Follow us on social media at Brill Creations. Okay, and again, if you guys are living in Qatar, you have a business, you want it to fly, you see growth and all, contact us. Give us a message, okay? And we're gonna make sure that we're gonna give you results. Okay, follow us again on social media at Brill Creations if you want to see more. Okay, bye-bye. Bro.
Oh my god, no, guys. No, it was pointed.